Hey, what's up you guys? It's Fictasia Parker, also known as Good Gal Gone Badu, back with another video. And before we hop in, make sure you're subscribed. Also hit that bell so that you can be notified every single time that I post. And then also leave a comment in the comment section down below if you find this video helpful, if you have anything to add to it, takeaways, let me know. And also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. Okay, so today is another one of those tuned in with Tasia talks, okay? Maybe that's gonna be the thing. Tuned in with Tasia talks. I don't know. Today I'm being pushed to talk about a concept that I had been ruminating on, and it is the importance of opening lines of communication in your relationships, whether they are romantic or platonic. We have to remember that relationships don't just mean the intimate ones, like the complications that you expect. No. That's the thing. That's the issue, is that we always expect complications, and that's simply because we don't have a grip on the concept of having a disagreement with someone and solving it without the need to bicker. Once we master how to solve issues based off intellect rather than emotion, we'll be in a lot better of a place, just as a collective, as a whole. But yeah, as you can see, this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, because I only talk about things here that I have personally experienced. This is me sharing my experience with you guys along this spiritual journey called life, all right? And just the things that I learned about myself and lessons that I feel like I could pass along, and maybe you could catch them so that you don't have to live through it twice, you know? That's the goal, is to, like, if you don't like that cycle, don't keep living through it. You gotta switch it up, switch the cycle. But anyways, I jotted down some notes, so I'll definitely be looking down just to make sure I'm structured a little bit. If you saw my last video, which I think you should, because it was quite amusing, if I do say so myself, okay? And on top of that, it was also very helpful. But if you saw that video, you would know that I am a lot more comfortable without the ring light shining in my face. So I'm really trying to not let it turn me into a robot, you know? I'm trying to still keep it cool, keep it me, all right? But I just feel so Hollywood. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I smoked a little bit before this video too. Like, I did the same thing in my last video. Like, I'm just showing you, this is my spiritual channel, and so the thing is that I incorporate smoking into my spiritual practices because it assists me. I realize things a lot faster, think a lot deeper, those kind of things. So if you're not cool with that, you can just pretend that I'm not high, you know? Like, you can just pretend and that'll be fine. Or you could just try another channel that doesn't do this, because, you know, there are plenty that don't. So anyway, let's just get into this, because this is a very hot topic. The importance of communication in relationships, platonic and or romantic. Let's get it. Okay, so number one, let me just say that you might be asking, why would I want to open up lines of communication? Well, William, that's a great question. Don't you just hate arguing with people? Wouldn't you much prefer to have like an intellectual conversation to discuss disagreements or spats or whatever you will call them, so that your blood doesn't have to boil? You know, that's my goal, is so that my blood doesn't boil. I like my blood to be temperate. I do. I really like I'm trying really hard not to be sarcastic, but opening honest lines of communication just makes your life easier. And I'm going to explain to you how. As a whole, as a collective, we always tend to focus on right now, like what's going on right now. I'm comfortable right now. I'm uncomfortable right now. It's always right now. But what about the future? Okay, so let's say that someone says something that you don't like, that your loved one says something that you don't like, and just so that you can avoid conflict, you keep this thought in your head. And it just keeps ruminating there, and you get angry in your head, you get sad in your head, you get all these different emotions in your head, and they just simmer. And you don't even know, because they get buried in the back, but they're always simmering. Always simmering. And eventually that simmer is gonna fizz the fuck up, because it's gonna burn out, you know? Like, there's always gonna be that reaction, like that breaking point. And the thing is that could be so easily avoided if you just address it right now. But the thing is that you're so focused on not wanting to be uncomfortable right now that you're okay with living with this little lie in your head that's going to boil over. That is devil energy. You planted seeds for devil energy, and it's going to sprout what you planted. So, ooh, I felt that one, Lord. Thank you for that. You will sprout whatever type of seed that you planted. Okay? And if that seed is planted in devil energy, you're just ruminating. There's devil energy just ruminating back there. Like, it's multiplying. And think about how many arguments you have avoided in the moment. Think about how many arguments you avoid in the moment. And the thing is that if we would get a grip on the concept of maturity when it comes to communication, we would understand that it doesn't have to be an argument when you disagree with someone, or when you have two differing opinions. You can literally have a normal conversation, like in the tone that I'm having right now, and two people will go back and forth, and it won't be a problem. You just get an understanding. But the issue is that we tend to react from ego rather than intellect. And to me, ego, it stems from emotions. Again, these are my own philosophies, so again, my experience. Ego stems from emotions, like based on how you feel, that's how you're going to react. Rather than intellect is like, okay, I see how I'm feeling, but I'm not going to acknowledge that right now. I'm going to look at this logically, maybe try to put myself in the other person's shoes to see, hey, maybe if I was in their place, I would understand. That could be one way to look at it. Whatever way that you need to look at it intellectually, it's based on the kind of person that you are. So that's where knowing yourself comes into this as well, but that's a whole nother topic. You just have to know what would work for you to help you understand the situation, to say, okay, if I break it down this way, I won't be so upset. I can make myself understand it by explaining it to myself this way. It's almost as if you are parenting yourself in your own mind. And sometimes this process might take 1 second, or sometimes this process might take 1 month. So you might be upset for just a second, but you don't react on that. You can be upset for a whole month and just say, hey, I need some space to think about this. That is your boundary. That's your right. Nobody can take that away from you. So however long you need to sit with something, that's on you. But the thing is that just sit with it intellectually, so that then you can think about how to come from the heart rather than the ego. Now you might be like, heart, ego, emotions, wouldn't those all come? No, heart is love. Heart is just straight up love. Ego is emotions, and emotions are all types of things. And usually anger is the first one. I really hope I'm not, I hope I'm not swerving too far off for you guys. I really hope I'm not. But I'm just trying to show how important and vital it is to not react immediately. When I tell you, I used to be that person that would react immediately. I would overreact to everything. My first reaction was anger or something, you know? And of course, nobody's perfect. Like, you might slip up, or you might regress because of whatever reason. But the thing is staying on top of yourself and knowing yourself and realizing, hey, I don't want to act this way. So you acknowledge that, and then you put that in the back of your mind, and you work to fix it later in your other interactions. It's all about taking the lesson in, like truly swallowing your pride and that lesson on top of it, so that you could keep it with you into the next chapter, so that the next time someone comes around and tests your patience a little bit, it won't stir up your spirit so much. It's just like water on a window pane, you know, like it just rolls off, you know. Let shit roll off of you. Don't get so upset. That's my whole point, really, is opening lines of communication is also simultaneously opening the door to emotional intelligence and empathy. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yes, there we go. Empathy, emotional intelligence, and maturity to communicate like adults. If we all could do that, like if we could all check ourselves enough to do that, there would be a lot less strife in this world and a lot more love. You feel me? You feel me? Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at my notes because I really just rambled on. That was just a straight rant. Let's see what I can add in here. Okay, the most important part. How to open up these lines of communication. Now, remember I talked about feeling uncomfortable in the moment rather than uncomfortable in the future? You have to be okay with being uncomfortable in the moment. It's going to be uncomfortable, especially if maybe you are evolved enough. Don't mind that flash. That's just a short in the bulb. Hopefully it'll stop because I don't want it to be distracting. But oh fuck. What was I saying? Okay, no matter how uncomfortable it might be in the moment to address the situation, it is so much easier. And maybe that's what I was saying, maybe you might be more spiritually evolved to where you might be able to control your emotions a little bit more, but the person that you're dealing with isn't at that level. That is okay. One thing I learned is that your interactions and your relationships are a direct reflection of you. If you know that someone might be defensive, you might want to come to them much more like down here. You feel me? Like if you know that someone's defensive, keep it real with them, but keep it real chill with them so that they don't have to switch into defense mode. And even though some of them might switch into defense mode anyway, it's you remaining calm and standing firm in your explanation that will switch the situation so that they will actually listen rather than react. Okay, so let me not walk around what I'm trying to say. I'm going to give you an exact example. Okay, so I have here, we live in a society that has suppressed emotions for so long that we get angry as a first reaction. It comes so easily, but what if we tried to think before reacting? This allows for mindful living, a much more stress-free way of life. You might wonder, how do I open up lines of communication? Start by telling the person how that made you feel. Whatever it is that got to you, that is just in your head, you can't let it go. Just be like, hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, it made me feel this way. Now, if you're dealing with a defensive person, their initial response will probably be to deny it, to be like, no, you're crazy, like, oh, like whatever the trigger words might be. Crazy is always in there, or that's not true. Whatever the case may be, just don't let it get to you. Remember that they can only come to you as deep as they know themselves. Okay, I hope I'm not doing too much. I hope I'm staying on track. I hope you following the map. Okay, anyways. But yes, if they come with defense, just let them know, hey, this is not to blame you. I'm simply telling you how this made me feel. I understand that your intention was not to make me feel this way, but in order for me to get past this, I have to tell you how it made me feel so that we can come to a compromise. Compromise. That word. the root of true love is compromise. And when I say true love, I'm not, again, let me say that does not mean romantic. That is romantic and platonic. You know what the issue is that we don't associate true love with our platonic relationships. So how can we associate true love with our romantic relationships? Hallelujah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I sound like a fucking owl. That must be the wisdom popping out, baby, because thank you, Lord. That was a message. I'm gonna have to run that back because that was a message. We're not even comfortable with romanticism. We're not even comfortable with showing love in our platonic relationships. Like, there was a video that went viral or whatever on TikTok, I think, or something like that. I saw it on Twitter, and these girls were like friends. I think there might have been guys in the videos as well. They were friends and they just wouldn't hug each other. Like, they were so uncomfortable with touching and blah blah blah. If you're like that with your friends, how do you think that that would translate into your romantic relationships? This world does not know true love. We just know how to react from emotions, and we all baby each other and let shit slide when we fucking shouldn't. We need to be held the fuck accountable. God damn it. We need to be held accountable. Like, we need to really start holding ourselves accountable. Like, stop the self-pity. Yes, self-pity is a choice. Self-pity is a choice that leads you to depression, those extended periods of despair. That is a choice. Okay? Just like opening these lines of communication is a choice, because I realized I got off track. But that's the thing. I'm trying to open up more by planning less, because this is when the truths really start to pop out. Things that I've never even heard myself say before. God is using me to preach to us, not only this camera, but us. I'm learning right now too. That's why, again, I love that I do what I do. I love it. But yes, compromise. In order to reach compromise, it takes strong lines of communication. Now, of course, I'm not saying that not everybody communicates properly, but I do want to point out that most people are so out of touch with life that they don't even see themselves clearly. Think about life from a third party perspective, as if you were like a cameraman filming you interact with others. How would you feel about the way that you behave? If you're happy with that, then cool, there ain't no problem. But if you think about those little moments of like insanity, I was watching I don't even know. It was a spiritual video. Those are the head, like a documentary or something like that. And I think it was a Sadhguru. Yes. And he was talking about like anger is literally like a split moment of insanity. Like, it's like that moment that you allow yourself to go momentarily insane. When he said that, I was just taken back, because it hit home. It hit home, because like I said, I've been those people before to just react so quickly, and initially your first reaction, especially I'm a passionate person, it comes across as anger. Straight up, it does. And as I thought about myself from that third party perspective, it really humbled me to be like, sis, why are you acting this way? And so I fixed my actions accordingly. And by me fixing my actions, again, your world and your relationships are based on you. Things only go as deep as you allow them to. Okay, that's a lesson I had to learn. Ooh, that was a tough lesson. Okay, but it was a great lesson. I'm blessed for that lesson. I didn't realize how much knowledge was pent up inside of me. How much, yeah, y'all, you guys are. That's why I started this channel, so you could watch me spiritually evolve into the woman that God made me to be. Okay. Experience really does teach so much more than school can. Like, school is cool, but ain't nothing like experience and heartbreak, pains, anger. Like, ooh, lessons come from that. And you know what's even crazier is that what got me to this point is opening lines of communication. I read that when I was all up in my angel numbers and shit, when I was starting this journey. I read about opening that line of communication, just being really like bluntly honest with people with compassion to avoid some issues. You know, like some things just can't be avoided. Some people just gonna be mad, but it's all about how you come at them. Okay? Again, your life is all about you and how you react to things. You are the creator of your reality, your current reality right now. If you don't like it, you have the power to change it. It won't change overnight. It might not change overnight. It can. Anything's possible. But you have the power to change it. And I strongly suggest starting with opening lines of communication. And I want to leave it off with this. Reactions flow in the same order every time. A reaction of fear always comes first because it takes the least control. Fear doesn't always mean what you think. Fear is anything that doesn't stem from love. In this case, fear, like I said, might show up as anger, as the very first reaction. If you allow this to process rather than acting on it, sometimes this process may take 1 second, it may take a month. Your pace is based on your own judgment. Set your own boundaries there for sure. Either way, once you process the anger, you can then see past it with heart. Always look to see past the situation with heart and intellect, not ego and emotion. Heart and intellect over ego and emotion. It's always mind over matter. Remember that. It's mind over matter. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Make sure you check out that description box and do all that good shit. Subscribe. You know what? Let's get it popping. Come on. I got a lot of gems to drop. Let's go. Thank you, guys.